How's it going, guys? It's Rod. So yeah, welcome to the 2019 NFL Draft Preview here. So last episode we did the offensive line. So it's only fitting that this episode we do the defensive line, defensive ends and defensive tackles. Because you know what? We need one too, on edge. So yeah, let's take a look at this class. It's ranked anywhere from an A to an A-. So there's a lot of game changers in this and a lot of franchise players and generational talents. So yeah, how about we just go ahead and jump right into the class and see what we got this year. We got a lot of players to talk about. So the first player we have on the list is Nick Bosa out of the Ohio State. Stands 6'4", weighs 263, had a 40-yard time of 4.76. Of course, we all know about Nick, the brother of Joey Bosa, the son of John Bosa, the nephew of Eric Kumaro. Sorry about that, Kumaro. So yeah, second-generation football player, and a lot of the members of his family are very talented players. So yeah, there's a lot of expectations on Nick Bosa. So let's talk about some strengths for Bosa. He lacks elite height or arm length, but Bosa's compact frame makes him pound for pound one of the most powerful players in the 2019 draft. He is your prototype pass rush defensive end, and we do need a pass rusher, so this could work if he falls to our laps, which will probably not happen, but still. He shows the quickness, twitch, explosiveness to explode out of a stance, as well as excellent snap anticipation, frequently beating college tackles with a pure speed rush. Unlike many rocked-up players, Bosa shows good core flexibility to bend around the corner while maintaining, and even building upon his speed. He likes to stalk his targets like a lion on the prowl, deftly moving through traffic and pouncing on his prey with startling speed and explosive power. Complements his exciting physical attributes with terrific technique, including an array of pass rush moves. Uses hands and time of his hands as well as any edge rusher in the country to knock blockers off balance onto their ass. Has excellent coordination between his upper and lower body. Times his swipes with lateral dekes to cleanly wrap the corner. Plays with terrific knee bend, pad level to play bigger and stronger at the point of attack. Comfortably on stunt back to the inside, showing zero hesitancy against the bigger bodies. So some weaknesses to Bosa. He looks maxed out physically and already plays with stellar technique. Does raise some questions as to how much better he can get in the NFL. Looks a lot shorter on tape than the listed size. Average length to disrupt quarterbacks while being blocked, forcing just only 2 fumbles and deflecting just 2 passes in 29 career college games. He played in only 3 college games in 2018 because during last season, he had to undergo surgery to repair torn core muscles near his abdomen and groin. That pretty much effectively ended his college career. It requires a thorough check by the NFL doctors. It raised some eyebrows with his decision to shut it down and preferred him for the draft and rather just come back healthy and prepare for help Ohio win a championship. But, Bosa, that injury, that could raise a lot of question marks. Could he be injury prone despite his talent? So yeah, that does raise questions. That could drop his draft stock. Because originally he looked like the surefire number 1 pick, but it looks like he may fall down the list a bit. Because it's rumored that the Cardinals are supposed to be taking a quarterback at number 1. But yeah, a lot of questions. By the way, his NFL comparison is to Cameron Wake of the Miami Dolphins. So yeah, that is Bosa for you in this draft. The next player we have to go over next is Clelin Ferrell of Clemson. He stands 6'5", weighs 265, had a 40 time of 4.78. He is your prototype run defense defensive end, so he's very good against the run. Strengths, he shows good initial quickness and ability to time the snap on a speed rush. Good balance and flexibility to dip under the reach of would-be pass blockers. Incorporates his hands into the rush, slapping away at tackle's reach. Shows an effective up-under rip to move to complement his speed. He generates impressive power as a bull rusher, pushing opponents onto their asses and with his arms locked out and showing very good leg drive. He's a coordinated athlete when stalking ball carrier. Shows enough speed and agility to flush and finish. Good example of this is in a tape from 2017 when he chased down Lamar Jackson in a game. He has good awareness of passing lanes and back slipping behind him, selling out his leaps and at times twirling in the air in an effort to bat balls away. Steady development and his awareness of the ball. He registered 5 of his 5 forced fumbles over the past 2 years, including 3 last season in college. Very effective in the run game, understands his containment responsibility, does not rush upfield blindly. Very effective use of his long arms and strong hands. Has impressive technique to attack half the blocker, including when splitting double teams. Intriguing physical upside. And the thing is, a quick note is that a week after the draft, he'll be officially turning 22. So yeah, being a first-round pick would not be a bad way to celebrate your 22nd birthday. But some weaknesses he has, though. He may be a better football player than athlete. Lacks the elite quick twitch burst to consistently win with a speed rush. He shows normal but not extraordinary acceleration to close or when we're pursuing from the backside. It might not wow with his 40-yard dash. I mean, his 40-yard dash is only 0.02 seconds off of Nick Bosa's, but still. It raises questions about his potential fit as a stand-up linebacker, who could be asked to drive into coverage more than just occasionally, and he does not always pursue downfield with that reckless abandon most NFL coaches would prefer they'd have. His NFL comparison is to Chandler Jones of the Arizona Cardinals. You know, Chandler's a pretty solid ball player, so yeah, there's potential with Farrell here. A lot of potential with a lot of these players. The next player we have on the list is for Shawn Geary out of Michigan. Stands 6'4", weighs 283, had a 40 time of 4.67. Some strengths, already possesses NFL caliber frame with impressive overall weight distribution and grown man strength. His burst off the snap shows impressive initial quickness and lateral agility. For a man of his size when he wants it, his best attribute is his upper body length and strength as he simply ragdolls opponents at times, personifying the coaching expression of stack and shed with dynamic sticks for hand. Blue-collar toughness in the run game, possesses the strength and size to slide inside on passing downs, giving creative defensive coordinators quite the weapon to create advantages matchups. And by the way, Shawn Geary is your prototype strength defensive end. He has very good strength. He looks comfortable rushing out of the 2-point stance, and even drops into coverage at times. Terrific closing speed, translates into explosive collisions. Doesn't always rely upon hits, however, showing strength, technique, and competitiveness to run through ball carries for clean, reliable tackles. Some weaknesses, he can be a tick late off the snap when he guesses wrong, so he's got to get the timing better on that. Lacks elite explosiveness to beat top tackles with a speed rush when he gets a late start. Too often appears willing to read and react to the action, rather than pinning his ears back and exploding upfield. There was a shoulder injury he had in 2018 that sidelined him for multiple games. It will require a closer look by NFL doctors. Needs to show greater awareness of passing lanes, failing to tip a single pass in 3 seasons at Michigan. His NFL comparison is to Everson Griffin of the Minnesota Vikings. So yeah, he has that shoulder injury, so yeah, possibly injury prone. That could be a problem long term. So yeah, that does raise question marks about him. And, you know, having him get a closer look by NFL doctors, that's a bit of a red flag. Same deal with Bosa, it's a red flag. The next defensive end we have here is Montez Sweat out of Mississippi State, stands 6'6", weighs 252 pounds. His 40-yard time was 4.65. He is your prototype explosion defensive end, so he's very explosive off the ball. Some strengths, Bosa an ideal frame for an edge rusher with a rare height, length, and a tapered middle, with good overall musculature. A little twitchy off the snap, shows impressive initial bursts and able to tightly scrap the corner without sacrificing speed. He has experience rushing from 2- and 3-point stances, shows the quickness to beat tackles with a simple speed rush out of either. He understands how to use his long arms to keep would-be blockers off him, extending with a powerful initial punch that can knock opponents onto their asses. Strong and competitive enough to latch on to ball carriers, attempting to run by him while he's being blocked. Slippy free and dragging out runners. He has good effort in pursuit, shows vision and agility to avoid traffic laterally and downfield. Still technically raw in some areas, but that can be taught, suggesting that still has a lot of runway left on his learning curve. So that could be a bit of a red flag there. And when he's still a bit raw and has a lot to learn, you know, so sometimes that's usually cue for him being a bust. But, you know, if he can still learn and he can absorb information like a sponge, he could be someone to look at. So weaknesses, though, he's far too reliant on his natural tools to beat opponents. Needs to show more of a plan of attack as a pass rusher and learn to sink his upper and lower body. Likes to convert his speed to power off the edge, but needs to show greater strength in his hands to rip free of blocks once opponents have latched on. His disappointing awareness of passing lanes also. His NFL comparison is to Aldon Smith of the Oakland Raiders, so yeah, a little bit of things he's got to work on, so like basics. Right now in the current word is, the word in the war room is, the rumor is in the Detroit Lions war room is that Montez Sweat has been the popular name in the war room at number 8 for the pick. No. What do you think of this? Would you like to see Montez Sweat or go something better than that? Like, if they're going for Montez Sweat, there's also another name that we're going to discuss next, but before we get there, like, if they're going to go Montez Sweat, then I'm guessing Detroit thinks that Devin White or Ed Oliver won't be available by 8, or even TJ Hockenheim. But there is another name they are considering that we're going to talk about next. And that name we're going to talk about next to our next lineman is Quinlan Williams out of Alabama. Stands 6'3", 295 pounds, 40 time of 4.95. A prototype tackling defensive tackle. Some strengths, prototypical build for interior defensive lineman. Blessed with exceptional combination of raw power, shocking quickness. Alternately beating opponents with strength and speed. He's often the first defender off the ball. He likes to surprise would-be blockers with his quick-twitch explosiveness, showing the ability to fire through gaps to penetrate and ruin plays from the start. Terrific upper body strength and length at the point of attack. Utilizes powerful push-pull technique to quickly rip through would-be blockers. Terrific core strength, leg drive, and use of leverage to drive would-be blockers in the backfield on simple bull rushes and when anchoring against double teams. Has surprising balance and agility for such a large man. Definitely maneuvering through traffic to stalk ball carries and shows impressive speed and effort in pursuit. Intimidating tackler, swallows ball carries with his wingspan and power. Tosses them to the turf in dramatic fashion. Appears to be just scratching the surface of his potential. Some weaknesses, though, he's still a little raw. Still raw. As Gordon Ramsay would say, fucking raw. He lacks ideal awareness of trap and cut blocks coming his way, with some knockdown blocks on tape. Successfully negated by Oklahoma's quick tempo passing attack. Needs to show greater awareness of passing lanes. Deflected just one pass in 2 seasons with Alabama. Powerful tackler, but could do a better job of using his length and power to whip the ball. He forced 0 fumbles despite a track record of big collisions. His NFL comparison is to Fletcher Cox on the Philadelphia Eagles, so there is potential with him. But he's supposed to be going near the top of the draft, but there's possibility he could fall right to Detroit's lap. And I would take him. I would take him if he falls right to us if Oliver and Ed White are available. Or Devin White are available or Ed Oliver. But yeah, you get the idea. Next player we have on the list is Ed Oliver out of Houston. He is your prototype pass rush defensive tackle. Stands 6'3", weighs 285, had a 40 time of 4.8. So yeah, some strengths he has. Truly exceptional athlete for the position. Exhibits light feet and loose hips, which could result in spectacular workout numbers and perhaps fan the frames of those suggesting a position switch is coming in the NFL to like possibly defensive end. Explodes off the snap like he is fired out of a cannon, slicing through gaps including those of would-be double teams. Easy bend to get skinny, showing the core flexibility to slither his way around opponents and quickly redirect left or right to pursue the ball carrier. Much stronger than his frame suggests, he shows a powerful initial pop for the bull rush, as well as good pad level and leg drive to get under much larger blockers and drive them backward. Terrific awareness of the ball around him, works to free himself from blocks to pursue a passion laterally and often 10-plus yards downfield. He recorded 11 passes defensed over his career, including 6 as a freshman. So yeah, that's pretty good for him. Some weaknesses, lacks size, teams want on the interior of the defensive line. Already owns a muscle-packed frame, suggesting that he may not have much room for additional weight. Without compromising his trademark quickness and agility. Too reliant on his feet to put him in position to make plays. Needs to show greater use of hands to disengage once blockers have latched on. Had to fight to earn a stalemate in short yardage when his initial burst is contained, and can be easily routed out by double teams due to his lack of size. He will be peppered with questions from scouts during interviews due to a well-documented sideline incident with Major Applewhite, in which the head coach reminded him that the team's oversized jackets were reserved for active players. And he was also sidelined with a knee injury that forced to take it off, and prompting a shouting match that ultimately resulted in Oliver leaving the stadium at halftime. So there is some potential unnecessary drama with him. Oh yeah, and that knee injury sidelined him for 4 games, and it requires also a thorough investigation from NFL doctors. So he had a knee injury. He could be injury prone, so yeah, that's a bit of a red flag there too. His NFL comparison is to Aaron Donald from the Los Angeles Rams. And of course, we know Aaron Donald is one of the top nose tackles in the league, along with Snacks Harrison. So yeah, he is a pretty good talent, but there are some questions about him. Like, the shouting match. Is he going to be a drama queen on the sideline? Because, the D in Detroit does not stand for drama. It stands for Detroit. And any injury. Could he be injury prone? A lot of questions there going to be answered. Next up, we have Christian Wilkins out of Clemson. Stands 6'3", weighs 300 pounds, had a 40 time of 5.04. He is your prototype intangible defensive tackle. Some strengths to Wilkins. He has a short, stumpy frame, well suited to be playing inside a defensive tackle. Possesses terrific initial quickness to split gaps and possesses lateral agility and balance of a much smaller man. Shows enough burst to cross the face of tackles when slid outside. Records tackles while covering punts or converting fake punts on the side. Passes and runs for first downs, each of which he has accomplished during his Clemson career. He complements his light steps with uncommon coordination between his hands and feet, marrying the two to slip, sliding and wiggle his way out of blocks, and pursuing laterally and downfield with reckless abandon. A lot of coaches like reckless abandon, by the way. Wilkins possesses remarkable hand-eye coordination, sneaks out an arm to trip up ball carriers seemingly out of his grasp, times his leaps with tip passes at the line of scrimmage, including breaking up a school record 10 passes for defensive ends in 2016. That's pretty good. Stout frame and strength help Wilkins hold up at the point of attack, including ability to split double teams. Though he was blessed with first-round athleticism, Wilkins plays like an undrafted free agent trying to make the team, pursuing laterally and downfield with passion and playing on 3 special teams unit. He's a big man who can deliver the big hit, creating explosive collisions, but is also a reliable wrap-up tackler. Wilkins did not miss a game over his 4 seasons at Clemson, comes with a sterling reputation up the field, including earning an academic All-America's accolades. Communications major would not be personality. Wilkins is popular with teammates in the Clemson coaching staff, so he's a great team player and someone to get along with well. Some weaknesses, and it's, in an era where NFL linemen get bigger every year, Wilkins checks in slightly smaller than the league average. Lacks the sand in his pants some teams would prefer inside. Especially evident against double teams, where Wilkins relied upon splitting them to be effective. Struggling to anchor and create a pile. He is athletic for his frame, but does not project as a true defensive end in a 4-3 alignment. In Detroit, I believe the idea is 3-4, but I think we changed back to 4-3. Depends on what Matt Patricia does to adjust on the go. A role in which he started for the Tigers in 2016. So his guardy tackle statistics are impressive. Too many of them occur yards downfield. So he's not that good for tackles for a loss. So yeah, that's some question marks there. His NFL comparison is to Gerald McCoy of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So yeah, there are some question marks, but he does have talent. And he's a bit smaller than what most linemen are supposed to go, but if he can get bigger, he could be a force to be reckoned with. Next up, we have Jeffery Simmons out of Mississippi State. Stands 6'3", weighs 300 pounds, 40 time of 4.98. Some strengths he has. He looks the part of a modern NFL defensive tackle with broad shoulders, long arms, trim middle, and thick lower half. Reportedly has just 15% body fat, which for a 300-pounder is remarkable, and testament to the muscle developed during what appears to be a lifetime spent in a weight room. I know, so he just sort of looks like a weight room athlete more than a player. He is expected to impress during pre-draft workouts, with 450-pound bench presses and 600-pound squats reportedly to his credit. Physical, powerful player who can overwhelm opponents with his strength and explosiveness in various ways, including with heavy hands to break the wrists of would-be blockers, and length and strength to anchor and being able to simply envelope ball carries for abrupt, empathetic stops. Shows good initial quickness of the snap with a smooth overarm swim move that Michael Phelps would admire. Good core flexibility, complement his pass rush moves. Shows enough agility to squeeze through gaps and redirect laterally to make plays behind the line of scrimmage. Two-time member of the SEC's all-academic team, as well as among Mississippi State's most recognized players for their work in the community. So he's a community guy. But that can only get you so far in this league. You know, that could get you in line for Walter Payton Man of the Year, but still. So weakness is, of course, bit top heavy with just average balance for his position. Negates his own impressive power at times at poor pad level. Springing up at the snap rather than playing with his knees bent. Just phone booth quickness, topping out after a few steps outside the tackle box. Just average agility and speed for the position when in pursuit. Too often getting caught up in the trash. Comes with significant character red flags, including a 2016 arrest following a physical altercation with a woman. So he beat a woman, and that's a big red flag. Big, big, big. That's bad. Beating a woman for any reason, that's fucking terrible. So that's very, very bad. In the end, he was ultimately charged with simple assault and disturbing the peace and pleaded no contest. Reportedly paying about $500 in fines for the simple assault plea, $300 for being found guilty of malicious mischief, and over $800 in restitution. So that totals out to over $1,600. So almost $2,000 for getting an altercation with a woman. Like, that is bad. Like, you never hit a woman for any reason. Like, that is just terrible. Just, So yeah, that's a big red flag. So he could be a fucking idiot in all of this. His NFL comparison is to Michael Brockers of the Los Angeles Rams. But yeah, there's some red flags with Jeffery Simmons. I would recommend pass on this one, honestly. So the next player we got is Dexter Lawrence out of Clemson. Stands 6'4", weighs 340 pounds. A 40 time of 5.15. He is your prototype run defense defensive tackle. So he's very good on the run game, and he has a very big size for defensive tackle. The perfect size. Strength, well, the weight says it all. Simply massive. 340 pounds, so he's very hard to move. Broad shoulders with a thick overall musculature that warrants an oversized load banner when he's driving home from the stadium. Carries some extra weight around his middle, but not much. Massive lower body, including tree trunks for limbs. Has quick off the snap and offers explosive power as a ball rusher. Routinely walking the center into the pocket when he's single blocked. Almost immovable when he keeps his pads low, including against double teams. Sprawls his legs and leans into blocks, creating a wall. Surprisingly agile when he is not occupied with blockers. Shows balance and good effort to play the keys and pursues laterally. Shows quick bursts to close when the ball is near, quietly leading to Clemson with 15 QB hurries in last season. Shows improved awareness of passing lanes in 2018. Gained his big pads up to knock down 3 passes in 2018. After recording just one his first 2 seasons. So some good improvement there. Has 2 block kicks to his credit as well. Received public support from his coaches following the news of his suspension, which kept him off the sidelines for the last season's college football playoffs. So yeah, but he did get some support, so the team really loves him a lot. Some weaknesses, of course, classic run stuffer, an error that doesn't play much value on his role. So he could be a one-trick pony and all this, but he's very good at the trick he does. Almost too big, though. Catches a lot of blocks because he's so broad across the shoulders that he struggles to get skinny through gaps. While quick in short areas, Lawrence tires easily, making few plays outside the tackle box, so yeah. Conditioning might be a problem with him. Limited pass rush repertoire, relying almost extensively on simple bull rushes. Paid level rises as he tries, negating the strength will allow his blockers to uproot him. He's part of a steady rotation at Clemson, may need more careful monitoring of his weight in the NFL if he is expected to play more minutes. So, he has some weight issues. Just like the O-lineman weight issues, that's a bit of a red flag. He requires a thorough vetting after testing positive for a banned substance. So he could also be an idiot that takes the drugs. Damn it. But for his NFL comparison, Detroit fans, you're gonna love this one. His NFL comparison is to Damon Snacks Harrison of the Detroit Lions. So this is Snacks Harrison 2.0. And Snacks is a close similar size. Snacks is 6'3", 355 pounds, so similar size. Now, put him and Snacks on the same line, that could be a very dominant run defense. Like, our run defense last year was 10th. Like, once we got Snacks, we went from 30th to 10th in 8-9 weeks. So, yeah, you don't do that by accident. That takes skill. So, the question is, can we go from 10th to 1st? Lawrence could be the possible player I could consider for this. Maybe get him a second round if he falls down. But, we're just going to have to wait and see. Next player we have here is Jerry Tillery out from Notre Dame. He stands 6'7", weighs 305 pounds, had a 40 time of 5.15. Some strengths he has, quite possibly the most physically imposing player to draft. Has rare size, including height, broad shoulders, finds for arms, an excellent overall weight distribution. He's quick off the ball, shows impressive agility for a man of his size. Able to get home on twists while pursuing laterally and downfield. Further, better at anchoring than his size suggests. Shows incredible core strength and leg drive to root himself to the ground and hold up, despite often losing the leverage battle due to his height. Good upper body strength, including forced hands. Isn't exactly nimble, but generates impressive closing speed when he has a runway. Building up momentum for some massive collisions. Incredible wingspan. Gives him quite a tackle radius with good strength in his hands to grab hold of ball carriers, while still engaged with blocks. Well-rounded individual outside of football. Reportedly taught himself how to write left-handed at the age of 5. Simply because so few people have the ability to do so. Interested in worldly affairs, communicates with congressmen, follows stock markets, his degree is in economics, travels outside the country to countries like South Africa, Italy, Ireland, and Poland. So he likes to travel the world. And he knows money, so he knows how to handle money well. So how about that? Potentially he could be a steal in a second round. But of course the weakness is, like most defenders, Tillery relies upon his size and power as pass rusher, lacks the quickness, sustained speed, or flexibility to run the arc as an outside rusher, limited awareness and hand-eye coordination to disrupt passing lanes, failing to register even a single tip pass in just one kick during his college career. Naturally powerful, but can be moved off the ball by shorter, smaller blockers due to poor pad level. Needs to show more awareness of trap blocks coming his way. Struggled with immaturity early in his career. He was suspended for an undisclosed violation of team rules prior to a Fiesta Bowl showdown with Ohio State. At the end of his freshman year 4 years ago, was caught on tape stepping on the leg of one Southern California player and kicking at the head of another during the team's rivalry game in 2016. He was invited to the Senior Bowl, but was unable to play, citing a previously undisclosed injury. So he could be an idiot that likes to break the rules and get himself in trouble. And he could be injury prone. That's a couple red flags there. So yeah, that does raise question marks. His NFL comparison is to Steven Tuitt of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So you have some questions there on him. And the final defensive lineman I'm going to go over in this video is Draymond Jones out of the Ohio State. He stands 6'2", weighs 286 pounds, had a 40 time of 4.96. Some strengths, good initial quickness off the snap, instantly closes gaps between himself and the would-be blocks, greatly improved coordination between his upper and lower body as a pass rusher last season, exhibits powerful hand swipe and overarm swim move to complement quick feet and core flexibility, possesses agility to get home on twists and stunts, shows good balance in the exciting closing bursts when this ball is near, reliable performer, started in 37 of 39 games for the Buckeyes, played only 2 years in high school, suggesting his best football may still lie ahead of him. Some weaknesses though, while explosive off the snap, yes, Jones is just as quick standing up, giving blockers expanded target and too often losing the leverage battle. Needs to learn to play with better pad level to avoid getting washed out in the run game. Lacks ideal bulk for an interior defensive line role. Does not possess ideal speed, and bend to warrant converting to defensive end. Shows just average awareness of passing lanes at this time, recording only 4 passes defended in 39 career games with Ohio State. His NFL comparison is to Michael Bennett. He could be a possible steal in the second round. So yeah, there are some red flags with him, but, his best football could still lie ahead of him, though. But yeah, that's gonna about do it here for this episode here of Draft Preview. So yeah, that does it for the defensive line. So yeah, next episode it will be linebackers, so we're gonna be looking at the defense since this draft is a defense-heavy draft. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Who do you like here in the players? In the defensive line, are there any players you like? Are there some you think are busts? Let me know. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Hope everyone has a great day. I'll see you in the next draft preview. Peace out.